right now, we are in my Focus ST. It's a 2013 Focus ST that I've had for a couple of years, and we're going to talk about it. So my last car was a 2005 Pontiac GTO. The reason that I sold it was because I have a list of cars that I want to own all at the same time. There are about 4 cars, they're all reasonably priced, so they should be obtainable. The GTO had been one of them, but I had decided that it was redundant for me to have the GTO and also a 4-door big V8 rear-wheel drive car. So I decided to sell the GTO and just go for one of my other cars in that list, which just so happened to be my daily driver. I bought this car because I wanted a daily driver that was fun to drive, relatively cheap, and would get decent gas mileage, at least for a performance car. And it does all those things. One of my first impressions that I've gotten from the Focus ST is that it's got plenty of torque, it's punchy, and it's still a blast to drive, even though it's front-wheel drive. These cars are advertised to have about 250 horsepower from the factory at the crank, and about 270 pound-feet of torque. Dyno papers that you see all over on the forums online would indicate that the car was actually conservatively rated, and that they should be putting out around 270 horsepower at the crank, and somewhere along the lines of 300 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of power coming out of your front wheels. Especially when the turbo engages so quickly. It's very punchy. It kicks in, you've got what feels like full boost at almost 2,000 RPM. I know it doesn't technically hit full boost until higher, but you just get all that torque at about 2,000 RPM, and it doesn't feel, you don't get all that turbo lag like you get in a lot of the other turbo cars. I've driven a 2016 WRX, for example, which is priced kind of competitively with this car, and they're supposed to compete in a lot of ways. And the WRX, maybe there was something wrong with that one, but it felt like it had tons and tons of turbo lag. I felt like I wasn't getting anything until 5,000 RPM, and this, it really kicks in quickly. That's something I like about it. If you can manage the wheel spin and the torque steer, it'll get you from 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 6 seconds. That's respectable. It's not crazy fast, but it's respectable. So I've had this car for about 2 years, and it's been an absolute blast. I miss a lot of the V8 power that I had out of the GTO, of course, and I wasn't expecting to get that out of this car. But this has all of your turbo noises, which are so fun. And the car has plenty of character, plenty of attitude, even if it's a slightly different attitude. Another thing I like about this car is how it handles corners. You might find that as a surprise for a front-wheel drive car. You see car reviewers everywhere rave about the platform and the chassis that the Focus ST has. Another thing that I love are the Recaro seats, which is funny because that's something that a lot of people complain about, is that the Recaros in the Focus ST are too tight. They hug you too tight. They're uncomfortable. For a guy my size, and I feel like I'm pretty average, the seats are wonderful. They hug you perfectly. I can take corners confidently. I'm not sliding all over in my seats. Something else that I like, and you might judge me for this, but I grew up in the 90s, and when I was growing up, there was a popular thing called cargo pants. And why were cargo pants popular? It's because you could have one thing and you could put it in one pocket, and you have another thing and put it in another pocket, and you could stay more organized. I don't know, you could carry more stuff. And that's something we liked about that. And this car is cargo pants, because you have little pockets everywhere that you can put random things in and kind of stay organized, I guess. Overall, I'd say that I like the technology and the user interface for both the touchscreen and for the driver control panel up in front. There are a lot of things that I like about the Focus. I even like the color of this one. It's the Tangerine Scream, which is an exclusive color for the Focus ST. And even though I have literally had people try and ask me for a ride thinking that I'm a taxi, it's a good looking color on the car, and it makes it easy for me to find in the parking lots. Alright, so I'll be honest, I've been trying to finish this video for quite some time now. I've done, like 4 different video shoots so far, and I still have one more that I want to do. So in short, all of these different video shoots have been happening on different days. So if you were wondering, Devin, how are you changing clothes 5 times in one day? Or a better question, why are you changing clothes 5 times in one day? It's not one day, it's been many days. Many days. As in like 5 different days. But it's alright. So I've already talked about a few things that I like about the car and a few things that I might not like so much about the car. But you need a visual aid for this incredibly obnoxious thing that I've been dealing with for the past several months. Maybe even the past year. So the clutch pedal, you've got the rubber cover, and then it has like a metal piece over the top of it to make it look cool, and I guess to kind of help protect the rubber from completely dissolving. And a very common thing for the Focus ST is for that cover to come off. So that's it. And I've tried putting it on like 4 different times, and it'll stay for like a week or 2, and then it'll just pop back off. And it kind of drives me crazy. I should be able to buy a new one to easily fix it, but I don't know, I'm cheap. Alright, so it's time for the verdict. Every car that I drive deserves a title, whether it's an award or a demerit, and this Focus ST has earned a special one. I've driven quite a few hot hatchbacks and even more front-wheel drive cars, and there's a list of these cars that I'm comparing the Focus to on our Facebook page. And grouped in with these cars, the Focus ST performs exceptionally well. So well, in fact, that it not only tops our hot hatchback list, but it takes the top of the list of the front-wheel drive cars too. So, until we drive an even better front-wheel drive car, I present you the winner, the Focus ST. Thank you for watching Road Trip Central. We've got more videos on the way. give us a little bit of support, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.